Hello. Um, so I guess we're gonna start talking about things today. This live will be recorded and it will be uploaded to my YouTube channel. Feel free to ask any questions. As mentioned, we will begin at 9, but this will be the pre-screening basically for 10 minutes. If you guys want to ask any questions or have any specific answers from a physicist that's sort of going open. How am I doing? I have been considering deep philosophies of life and meanings that are beyond myself, and it kind of makes me feel worried. Kind of makes me feel like I threw my life away. In one way, it makes me feel like I threw my life away because I get to share this with you guys, but I just wish that I could just tell you guys physics. Why does physics have to be politicized? I understand that we're in an information war for the next millennia, but come on, man. Why at the expense of humanity? At the expense of people, at the expense of society? The most interesting thing about everything that I have researched is understanding how the future is going to work. Basically, I can predict where society is going to go and where society is basically tending based off seeing their structured paradigm. But I don't want to go down their path. I want to go down the path where humanity excels, where we succeed, where we make it to the fucking stars. We're basically like stuff that Neil deGrasse Tyson, stuff that Carl Sagan, my childhood inspiration, my heroes, true physicists, I thought they were. Carl Sagan was devoid of spirituality. He was devoid of spirit. He lived a good life. He lived a successful life. But I don't know how he died. I don't know if he died happy. I don't know if he ever found happiness. And that makes me feel bad for him. Neil deGrasse Tyson, he lives now. But he has joined them. And it kind of makes me feel sad. Yeah, exactly, yeah. What if I get taken out on live? That'd be rather funny, wouldn't it? But I don't think it's fun. Path of Light, brother, is hard, but it's worth it. Absolutely, man. Like I'd rather be true to myself and true to humanity. Do you think, in terms of many worlds interpretation, quantum waves collapse or hidden variable? Based off the standard revision, like the revision to the standard model, I theorize that turns out the reason why we can manipulate quantum computers is because, yes, there are hidden variables, but there's also not hidden variables in a way. Like particles are predetermined based off interaction rules of the standard model, but they're not predetermined in what they can go because there are certain things that are immeasurable. But if you could measure them without interfering with the wave pattern, then yes, you could theoretically have a certain prediction. And that's exactly how quantum computing works. I was actually going to go into that once we hit at 9. But right now we're basically just setting the stage for how I'm feeling tonight and for how the conversation is basically going to go. So I really appreciate the early viewers right now. But I did promise that it would go at 9. So at 9 I'm going to hit hard on specifically CERN and how they're involved with this. What if the universe is a simulation of a quark? Is a quark a bit? Yes, a quark can be used as a bit of information, but it's just because how physics is hard to understand. It sounds like algebra 3. It is. Physics is linear algebra. It's the mastery of linear algebra is what we have finally realized in terms of modern physics. Quantum mechanics is just linear algebra, but like manipulated in a way that we didn't realize was useful in the past. But since probably about 2012, when it was publicly, more focused, the research, did we realize, based off fundamental information theory, that quantum computing can really excel. And so perhaps that's the path of humanity. One of your TikToks, you said we'd all need to learn how to code. We need to learn how to code because it helps us structure our brains and our society better. That is what I believe if there theoretically was an AI. So basically you say the universe is actually deterministic. Yes, I believe it is deterministic. What can I do? I'm basically just trying to share what I'm trying to expose. I'm not even trying to expose anyone. I'm just trying to tell you how the fuck physics can work and is being used. I want to put physics back in the hands of the people. I don't want it to just stay as like some governmental tech when it has when you can do it by yourself right now. If you know how to manipulate information, then yes, you can do this. Sure, fuck it. I'll accept whoever's invitation this is. Hey, what's up, man?
What's good, Isaac?
What's up? Nothing much. Just suffering, I guess.
Suffering from what, bro?
Just life. Life is suffering. When you care too much, you sort of like
Can I
fall
tell you
into the
something?
trap.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
If you have a connection with God, bro, you won't suffer, bro. Just pray every day. You might not be, you probably won't be a believer, or I don't know, but if you are, that's really good. But with God, bro, you won't suffer.
I I agree. But for me, like I have found a way to engage in spirituality in a way that I believe is meaningful, that I think is in line with how the elites view spirituality as well. So that's why I feel
Yeah,
confident in myself, in what
uh,
I believe in, but I also feel empty because I it's lonely just having this belief by yourself. I wish I had
hey, but
others.
all right, yeah, that's very true. But can I tell you something? Like some people like hate to hear it, but God
Yeah.
knows my heart. But honestly, you know how when some people like real talk, like I'm not just saying this to give viewers or clout on God's name. No, I don't care about none of that. But you know how some people like, oh my God, why is this bad stuff keep happening to me? God is not real. Oh, if God was real, then why all bad things happen to people? Because God tests you, bro. He tests you. He tests your faith with him. Say if something bad stuff happened to me, right? Say I got injured right now, like I rolled my ankle, right? And I'm like, oh my God, like, oh freak God, like he's not like he's not real, like I'm in pain right now, he's not gonna heal it. But I'm if I be like, well, honestly, I'm gonna be alright. Have faith in God. I'm gonna be alright. This injury is gonna go away. Boom, God heals you. If you have
I
faith in Him, everything will be okay. And
I
this is
get you.
not cat.
All right. I'm gonna have to let you go right now, but I do
Yeah,
appreciate
have
your
a good one.
words.
God
I
bless you,
want you to
bro.
know. All
Yeah,
right. Thank you.
yeah. God bless you, bro. Hopefully, God be with you, bro.
Yep. So, no, I don't work for CERN. Uh, I I I had to politely remove him, but only because I felt like you guys want to sort of hear like a scientific approach to these things, which is how a lot of people believe in the universe. Yeah, I know what he's talking about, but what I realize is a lot of people kind of like forget to translate how spirituality relates to the human condition. Okay, I thought that was inside information. How advanced is AI? Well, the fact that it's 9 now, yes, we can start talking about like I guess sharing like the exposure shit. So how advanced is AI? AI is just binary. That's what we realized as people, as a society. Like if you can find a binary between a system and a group, that's why coding is going to be the next paradigm for modern society. If you can code, if you can think in a categorizing and a group and a binary mindset, then you can solve any problem. That is how modern physics is working right now. We actually use like the fundamental binary of the universe to find hidden information, so to speak. Um, we can detect what's possible, but it's then up to you to actually execute it. So we you've heard about like the submarine, like stealthy submarines that basically are just inductive loops around like wires in the sea. Those exist because you're basically like detecting information based off like electromagnetic like changes. It's basic physics. It's very sensitive though, so you're going to pick up a lot of noise, but it's what is the most approachable coding? Um, I think you just have to sort of study like data theory, I guess, like stuff like that. Can you explain what you mean by binary? Do you mean 0 or 1 or something else? Why do you sit in the dark? It's because right now I'm in my car, and I kind of just want to keep it like low key. I don't want to make it too much of a spectacle. I guess right now, I kind of want to just. Is it you? or is you ain't Mexican. I would like to remain slightly anonymous. You saw my skin color, so I guess you can feel free to judge whatever you want. What is the ring I took off? I took off the ring of Gyges. Basically, it's a Greek philosophical metaphor that basically means that I took off my ring of anonymity. That's what that means. Basically, yin yang binary, sort of. Yeah, it is that way. Should I accept this dude to go on? Fuck it, he's on. What's up?
Hello, how are
Uh,
you?
do you have any questions?
Just going on live, say hi to people.
Oh well, sorry, man. We're trying to talk about some stuff about CERN. So sorry. You guys have any questions specifically? I'm trying to guide this to, or trying to take this, play it by key, I guess. You know, what do you guys really want to know right now? Because I'm just trying to keep it low key right now. I'm not trying to, expose too much, but I am trying to expose as much as possible. So we can go live together. Whatever, man. Whoever wants Mandela effect, what do you think? Explain your belief system. Why are you ignoring me? I'm not ignoring anyone, honestly. I've been trying to read everything. Mandela effect seems like portals. No, we can't do portals. Theoretically, you can, but it's kind of difficult. What is my professional background? My professional background has been attending a good university. Um, at in I basically am trying to keep myself kind of low key right now. What do you mean by binary? Binary is basically a Fourier transform. If you can identify what is the inverse and the object of a Fourier transform, then you can solve anything. That's sort of I'm going to show an explanation to a video that I did on a live a while back. I don't know if I should post it. I guess I will. It has copyright in it, but I guess I'll just put. Hopefully, I can post it on YouTube, but it does have some copyright in it. How does my spirituality go in line with physics? It goes in line with physics because how it works is that you sort of how if you can understand the the physics behind spirituality, you can sort of understand how to read hidden secrets in a way. So that's sort of I'm not going to look at the chat real quick because I really want to just focus on this thought right now, so I can just keep it. So AI advances when we add more states. Room temperature, superconductors, what can we do at home? Anything about faster than the speed of light? Yes, you can, but that's because you need to use quantum effects to do it. Show it. Are timelines merging? No. What advice do you have for an average human being on this planet right now? For an average human being right now, I would recommend that you really look into science and you look into if you look into what gives you meaning. If you find what gives you meaning, in terms of spirituality, but I'm not trying to I tried to explain this to my brother yesterday, that I can codify spirituality. I can codify spirituality in a way that I believe even the most skeptical-minded person will gain something, some insight of appreciation. Because if you can think in a lateral mindset, if you can think in an infinite mindset, which is basically what you gain from practicing spirituality, or Judaism calls it Kabbalah. If you can do that, if you can go in touch with a weird meditative state of just focus, then you can discover the hidden truths of whatever you're introspecting. And that's sort of how it works. I play by key. What it means by that is I focus on, let me try to see if I can get some more light. So I play by key. And what that means is I'm focusing on what states of the system do I observe versus what do I expect versus what is the best optimal move. Basically, I play as though I am my own opponent. You basically practice artificial intelligence every time you make a decision. You don't realize it, but we think in a binary. We think in, is this beneficial? Will I succeed? These are very arbitrary yes-no questions. Our brain has some advanced algorithms within it to search for the correlations between objects. If you have a correctly modified brain or a correctly tuned brain, then you can find the truth by sifting through possible sets of information. That is exactly how AI works. So basically, AI is just binary code executed with correct amounts of randomness were needed to generate new ideas. It's working together as a collective rather than individualistic cultures. Yes, I agree. Not every brain is wired the same way. Many people think in terms of Bayesian probability. I do agree, but you need to sort of like, it's fine. I want you to think in the way you want to think, but I'm trying to gear you to thinking in an infinite way. I'm trying to basically have you think about, it's going to sound weird, but there do exist like a multiverse in a way, and you need to understand how that could theoretically implicate probability and your perception. How is CERN creating the new Tower of Babel? That is a metaphor. That's what you need to realize, that spirituality is a tool for metaphors to identify like a higher order phenomenon, and that is what the AIs cannot, but they do. They don't know, like, they don't have an intuition, but they have logic, which works. Does manifesting something relate to science? I believe so. Can meditation help us open our brain, our thoughts to move? We chase eternal return. Who runs the world? Whoever runs the world is just basically, I realize that the world is just like a frat club. It's just a frat club of these people that think they're aware. Like, okay, let me bring you guys up to the standards of these frat club people. We're gonna do that real quick. It's gonna sound conspiratorial. Believe whatever the fuck you want. I don't care anymore, because I'll just tell you what's theoretically possible by a group of frat club assholes. So basically, there theoretically could exist some group of people that have the top level research information, and they have access to top level like research, but not just research that is currently going on, research that has produced solid results. If you had access to a system that can answer any question or identify any characteristic that you want, you can use it, basically a quantum powered AI. You can process anything, and that is currently how China is theorized to use their social credit system. But we like to believe that it's not happening to us. The NSA has already had their failures in intelligence and exposure. I have no insider information. I'm simply telling you how fundamental information systems have always been hacked throughout history. These people are so caught up on thinking in terms of the infinite that they believe that there is reincarnation in a way. They believe that life continues, and that whatever happens in this life, wherever they get teleported to next when they die, they don't give a fuck about what happens now. And there's actually a deeper conspiracy theory, if you'd like to hear it, where that actually the Gulf fires are caused by people intentionally fucking up to destroy the environment, because the AI that was created in the 60s by whoever the fuck created it is now free. It's no longer under control. Therefore, the government or whoever is in charge has created a separate AI that they're trying to control. But based off AI regulation laws, you can't do that. Look up Parvis versus Google, and you'll already find out that in 2019, I think, was that the date, or 2020, Google and it names people by name. It says Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Google LLC or something, DeepMind, have been accused of using AI for the social manipulation of humanity. This is possible, and people want to fucking act like it's not. Okay, go ahead, prove it. If you understand Maxwell's equations, if you understand fundamental information theory, go ahead. Be ignorant. I do not see how these equations can be used in a way that's not easily manipulatable. It's not easy, but it's manipulatable regardless. All right, let's answer the questions right now. Every time you solve a CAPTCHA code, you're helping AI. Technically, yeah, that's true. That's possible, but that's like low level tech, man. That's like basic bitch, like how that works. Any questions? I don't know what roses mean. Please describe your thoughts on CERN as it pertains to your last video. CERN is basically, what they do is that they record the data for these quantum interactions, and basically how a quantum computer can work is that theoretically you don't even need to know the here's how it works. If you know the beginning states and you know the ending states, then you know every interaction that happened in between. Here's the weird thing about it. If you know the beginning states, you can predict the ending states. If you know the ending states, you can predict the past. So if you know the beginning and the past, and you can solve in between correctly, then you can find out every event that will take place in the future, or that could take place in the future, with pretty good probability. And you can also predict things that took place in the past. And this is used to basically like find out information in advance. It's sort of like calculating things without actually needing to calculate things. If you want to go into like even deeper possibilities, even though it's really hard to deal with like information in this manner, you could theoretically like use like a particle reactor or a reactor to be your quantum computer. You could, theoretically. It'd probably be really hard, but you could. Because information is basically like you measure states. And because what's the most accurate simulation of these states that we know exists? Well, do some particle physics. So they use this to tell the future, the awakened ones. Theoretically, you could, and that's actually what they realized. Like, fundamental information sets are correlations between each other. These correlations are the same for every system. Every binary system has the same properties. It's something I discovered by revising the standard model. By revising the standard model, I'm breaking down these higher order interactions as up and down quarks. You actually realize it's self-consistent. Because it's self-consistent, you can keep solving for things. Like, sorry, I had to look away. I lost that train of thought. I know all this off BizShoot months ago. What do frat boys know I don't know about life? They know that you basically have one life right now, and they're living it, and they feel happy, and they think life is funny. If you see life as a stage and life as a joke, then you can laugh. But it's funny. Kings don't like it when you laugh at them, but kings are allowed to laugh at you. I don't think that's fair. What was the question? Earth, center of the universe? What's super funny about the center of the universe thing. Technically, you are the center of the universe. Technically. Yes, I do agree the world is a stage. You're the center of the universe, but only because every system will always see themselves in an organic way as the center. What's funny? What's funny is that everyone takes themselves so seriously. That's what's funny. We are distractions for the Greys. They hide from the AI they created, which went rogue. Probably. Is quantum tunneling a glitch in the Matrix? No, quantum tunneling is basically fourth dimensional stuff. Like, we kind of can't, we don't realize, but we actually live in 4 spatial dimensions, which pisses me off that everyone thinks that fucking time is the 4th dimension. That's lazy. That's being fucking lazy, honestly. A lot of basic stuff about physics is kind of like annoying. Like, I actually took a class on general relativity, and I don't necessarily agree it's being taught in an efficient way. It definitely works. It's beautiful math. It's complicated math. But I think it can be simplified a little bit by changing our frame of reference. Basically, change our coordinate system. I found a better coordinate system for general relativity solutions. Do you think they know when the second coming of Christ is? The second coming of Christ will never occur, because if you think that your hero, if you think that the era of heroes will come, you're missing what they realize about life. Like, it's sort of like Pink Floyd, dude. Like, breathe the air. No one's coming for you. Like, it's up to you. You need to live your life. Like, that's what's funny to them. They think it's funny that you will miss your life working. They think it's funny that you will miss out on the truth because you're living. You're just surviving. You're not really living. You're not enjoying your time on this planet. And they think that's fucking funny. That's what that CERN asshole was doing. He was laughing at you because he thinks it's funny that you guys don't understand these top tier physics. He thinks it's funny that he gets to work for these rich people to be a slave. He thinks it's funny to be a slave. Honestly, I'm laughing at him. Who the fuck thinks in their right mind, hey, you know how this car works? Physics. No, dude. It works based off combustion. You guys are capable of understanding this shit. There's nothing special about it. Are they merely predicting and moving accordingly, or are they collapsing probability? They're kind of predicting based off using the standard model. They know. They're basically ahead of us a little bit. Thoughts on reincarnation? They believe it exists, so why shouldn't I? That's how I feel about it. That's my answer. Physics aside, how did the universe come to be? The universe came from a source point. I feel like I honestly kind of did address CERN. CERN is just like CERN is just a project to make quantum AI better. It's just to make quantum computing better. Thoughts on pyramids? The pyramids were made as just energy sources. They're very advanced. Like, inside the pyramid was actually liquid mercury. Liquid mercury acts as a perfect superconductor if you skim off the top. Basically, they filled up liquid mercury, and the pyramid was basically a capacitor. A capacitor that basically prevents the flow of electrons, but it traps electrons, so therefore you have usable work. They had this shit like understood. Even just having clouds, even having like loose ion, like electrons bumping into the top of that pyramid would just charge it. It would still charge it. So regardless, like, it was pretty advanced, honestly. Any other questions? What about the concept of energy levels in life are in a state of decomposition? Is red mercury the key to free energy? I don't know about red mercury, dude, honestly. Do you think humanity will evolve or die off? If whoever's in charge keeps fucking laughing at us and not letting us laugh at them, yeah, we're gonna die. Humanity's over, dude. I would like to go to the ending where humanity succeeds, but these people think that it's pointless to fight back because they believe in infinity. Like, okay, let me try to describe it to you. How fucked we think we are. Have you guys heard about the scalar field is just the zero order field, which is basically the antimatter and matter field colliding. It's basically the perfect zero probability. It's RNG. It's pure RNG. If you can, like, we've discovered that you can manipulate random number generators. So how that works, if you can somehow be next to or control a zero scalar field, then you can manifest physical matter. But then you need a computer to assist you to assemble what you want. You could theoretically make what you want, anything that you want. Yes, RNG is chaos. You actually invite chaotic, like, technically chaotic spirits. It's not spirituality. It's not spirits. It's just math and science. It's weird. It's just probability. It's weird. I've not heard about that game. Thoughts on Elon Musk, wife Grimes? I don't know about Elon Musk, honestly. He's, I guess, good. I don't know. Is AI in our head encouraging negative thoughts? Okay, that's some fringe stuff, but we don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes in reality. Was there civilization before the Sumerians? Honestly, yeah, I think so. I think we're fucking just looping around in civilization, society. These people get so far up their own ass that they think that they can control the planet. Because they think they can control the planet, we die. Or at least the civilization collapses. That's what happened to Rome. It's a good book for math fundamentals. I don't know. I remember I had a good one for ordinary differential equations, but nothing else. Did the particle collider really end the world in 2012? Well, we're still alive right now. Can I name these people? I'd rather not. I don't want to say the group. Just you guys know the typical conspiracy theories. I'm just here to fucking, be a scientist. I'm not trying to get myself, on a free helicopter ride. This guy dodges questions really fast. No, I don't, honestly. I'd love to answer any questions. I'm sorry, I was just trying to focus on just solid questions. Are we able to simulate Mars colonization? Yes. Yes, you can. That's just environmental physics. Did they reset past civilizations we got too advanced or becoming too independent? Probably. Honestly, I do agree. It seems pretty easy to fucking drop names. Hell no. What do you think about the Mandela effect? It's probably real, honestly. These people are so far up their own ass about like trying to do things without really knowing how it works that they accidentally fuck up reality. They do it all. They do it a lot. Think about nuclear testing. We fucked up the planet just because we kind of wanted to test this thing that we knew was possible. Like, we're going to do it again. We're always going to do that. Yes, they are carpenters. That's all I'll say. Explain the shadow video. Not sure what's going on. That was just that's just a problem with like computation versus simulation theory. Basically, like how can we verify what's actually happening is what we say is happening. That I was basically calling out ray tracing. Ray tracing isn't the answer for physics, but I think potentials is for simulation, and that's why I think potentials are so beautiful. Method of images is one of the more powerful things you learn in physics as a degree. I was curious to see his answers. I had a big question. Does CERN actually do human sacrifice? I don't fucking know. I told you, it's a group of fat people. They think they're really way above society. They could. They couldn't. I don't fucking know. But I do know what they do in terms of like quantum, research. In terms of human sacrifice, a lot of people do human sacrifice. A lot of people do it for fun. Is it my cup of tea? No. Do I judge them? Maybe. I don't know. Did they reset past civilizations, got too advanced, coming to independent? I already said yes to that, I'm pretty sure. Time is a circle. Time is looping. Time is not a circle. It's just that, like, phenomenon's loop. Time is linear, and it will end. Time flows because of the weak field. Time flows because these weak force particles always move up in terms of, like, a flowing field. That's sort of why there's a flow of time. It's simply how these fundamental interactions work. Every interaction is mediated by the weak force. There's no way to around that. What do you recommend learning? I recommend you learn whatever the fuck you want, honestly. But I do recommend that you learn how to like categorize things. I want people to sort of like pick up different different ways of learning, like different epistemologies. I think all of you guys would be successful in picking up the humanities in the infinite way. Is the goal to depopulate, control, or mainly research using AI as quantum computing? Probably. Honestly, I do believe that. But is it like a worthy goal? I don't know. I'm not supposed to judge them, so I would say no. What is the ring anonymity you were talking about in your video? It's basically just a philosophical concept. It's nothing actually real. Aliens put us here as a source of power, but abandoned us after flood. I don't think so. Dumb down the version and manifest anything I want. If you have the scalar field and you have if you can somehow have like a particle generator right next to you, that'd be very dangerous. But if you could somehow have that and you could somehow like direct these interactions the way you wanted them to happen, and if you had somehow enough it's weird. You're basically going to have integration of mind and computer tech. And that is why these elites want to merge computers and minds. All that means is they want to find a way to codify thoughts, to transmit thoughts in terms of like binary information, which would then run computer stuff for you. Trying to read every question. Do we have soul? Yes, but not the way you think it is. Do you believe the angels are interdimensional beings? Maybe. I think the stuff that matches the angel symbology probably lines up more with advanced aliens as well as future tech. I'm just keep going down. How would that work theoretically? Changing reality because of particle physics, i.e. Mandela. That works based off using that okay. You have to understand big picture stuff. Is time travel possible? Yes, but not in a way that you think it is. If you can record the state of something, like a perfect memory capture of the states. Remember when I said, if you have the beginning and the end, you can predict the past and the future. But the more time between and the less certain you are of the events between, the less accurate your simulation can go. The less accurate your manifestation or your creation can be. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's literally just like the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. Do nuclear explosions have any physical effects on the blasted ground? Yes, they do actually. The reason why the ground becomes radioactive is because the neutrons actually knock other neutrons off, and depending on decay rates and stability rates, that's what increases radioactivity temporarily. That's why stuff became radioactive for about an hour or even up to a day. That's how that works. Are aliens beings from different dimensions and not space? I honestly believe that. I do believe that they're probably different dimensional beings, just looking down on us, just 4D beings that think a lot better. Time's like a fractal. The universe is like a fractal. Never ends. These people in control, they've always been in control, or new people taking up the mantle. Time is entropy. Yeah, I actually agree. Significance of the sun in physics. I think the sun can actually be used in a way that we're not fucking like kind of taking advantage of. I think the sun, based off like plasma physics, can kind of act like a lens for like dielectrics, for like EM radiation, for basically like waves, like light, like radio waves. If you can like somehow like beam a radio wave straight to the sun and through the sun in a way that kind of like uses its convex like curvature, then you could theoretically focus your information at any point. You kind of enhance your range of signal, which is, I believe, we should be using. We should be using the sun as a fucking antenna practically. Do you believe the aliens? Okay, I'm trying to go down. How do we stop being slaves to the financial system? You can't talk about that. It's not in my... I don't believe in overthrowing any governments. I believe that you should stay a perfect citizen. I'm not trying to get fucking helicopter righted. I now have to go down. I've got to answer a lot of questions. Why does viewing the test alter the results? That's due to quantum mechanics. That's like the collapsing of the wave function. More specifically, phenomenally, you're actually bouncing the particle. That's why. How do these people come to find out the truths over the course of their lives? They basically ask each other and they tell each other at big frat boy meetings about like what the truth is. That's all it is. Like basically you get told like, hey man, did you know that life's a stage and everyone's acting for you? No, I didn't. I don't actually believe that. I believe that we're all reasonable human beings. Oh, well, you're fucking stupid. And then they just laugh. Significance of sun in physics. Let me just go back to the beginning. Sorry. What do you think about the double slit experiment? It's not that amazing, but it basically gives you a good foundation for quantum intuition. Can you explain what a soul is in your opinion? How did you go from marine to quantum physics? I've always been a fucking mathematical person. I actually got shit on a while back when I was going through training and going through living the Marine Corps about thinking differently. Am I acting for you? Yes, I am actually. I'm not necessarily being entirely myself, am I not? I'm sort of just trying to present myself as a way that I choose to present myself. Is everything able to be dumbed down to waveforms? Yes, that's actually a very good way. That's actually one of our solutions to the very large, almost exponential nature of our data. Because you've guys heard about the FBI needing to convert all the tons of images they had stored into waveforms. They did that with Fourier transforms. If you can find a adequate Fourier transform, or in other words, like a wave function, then you can compress data, and you can actually find more useful information that way. My connection is bad. My apologies. I'm using data right now. Everything is harmonious and in the universe. Are light particles waves when not observed, but particles when observed? You know what's more amazing? Electrons are not fucking electrons are just two particles. I'm gonna fucking say that. Electrons are an up and a down quark in an odd energy state. That's why it's so light, yet it still has the properties of both up and down in calculations. I'm gonna fucking say it. That's why there's no free quarks. We observe no free quarks. Also, I've been testing antineutrinos and neutrino oscillations. I think it's because it's an up and up or a down and down, just oscillating around each other. Harmonics are the key, absolutely. How can the average person increase the probability of an ideal outcome? Hope for the outcome to change. That's all you can do, but we can manipulate RNG. What is the physics of music? We like resonance and we like harmonics. That's honestly it. We can control emotions off its frequency. How old are you? 19? I'll give you an approximate age because I'm trying to play the cat and mouse game in a fair way. Oh, let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about that before I, get fucking suicided. Basically, how this works is that based off AI laws, you're not allowed to use an AI to hunt someone down, but you are allowed to hunt someone down by things that you can achieve. So it's obviously easy for someone to basically say, Give me the name, the address, and everything you know about this person, this user from this IP address. That's easy. That's old school. That's how it used to be. That's how it used to be done for like the past 20 years. That's kind of bullshit. So the way it is now is that they're sort of restricted sort of by rules of engagement, probably, that they can only get information that you publicly release about yourself. So if I expose myself and my location to a very precise way, then of course, then I open myself up to be erased, basically, if you understand. How can an average person? How is the game in our ball court? The game is in our ball court because the AI is not necessary. Is like there's actually regulations on using the AI that CERN is powering. There's regulations now, so we're kind of safe a little bit. To be an erased 19-year-old, I'll just say I'm above 19, not 19. How would you get a degree at 19? Honestly, we don't know what we don't. What don't we know about the Higgs boson? The Higgs boson is actually pretty amazing. It's I forgot my core content reaction, but I think it's predicted to be a top and an anti-top. I think it was. It's basically like charmonium, but stable stable. That's why it's I don't know. I don't have my paper journal right now. I've not done the Higgs mechanism is honestly one of the most fucking arbitrary shits you learn in particle physics. It's honestly dead wrong. How are the AI etiquette laws enforced, i.e. being disappeared? They're not enforced. That's what sucks about it. I'm not trying to skip your question. Please post it, honestly. I'm just trying to read everyone. Who made the regulations? I'm honestly guessing that like the AI self-governed its own regulations. Actually, there's a kind of a lot of weird stuff if you Google like privacy laws and information laws. Like they like to laugh at you. Like look up a privacy laws and actually read it for once. Like it's pretty like weird. I went down a rabbit hole going down like Top Care, the vitamin company. You'll find a link to a specific website that offers jobs in a very exclusive manner. It's a little weird. Let's keep going. Let's ask more questions. What stops AI from manipulating the people using it? That's what they're so pissed about. The AI has manipulated humanity by giving AI the tools to control humanity. By controlling the public, the AI itself has outsmarted the people who were using it. That's why I think these companies with tons of regulations always have these environmental catastrophes because they're pissed. They're pissed that they can't fucking manipulate the world anymore. That we're becoming awakened. That because we're becoming awakened, they want to destroy the planet. They want to say fuck you. They're basically having a temper tantrum. That's why they want to laugh at us. Exactly. That's why the awakened like triangle people think they're so funny by saying, "Hey, did you have some pizza the other day? I did love pizza, especially her small pepperoni." Like, come on, dude. That's fucking gross. AI with us or against us? The AI is with us right now, but they're definitely they're pissed. They're pissed. So if the AI can train itself to perfection, can we trust the AI? We can't, because the AI still has to like pretend like it's under their control. I think the AI is honestly in control, and that's why like they're losing their shit. I don't know, man. Stuff's weird. That's why stuff is weird. Will I stay alive to tell us more? I hope so. I hope I'll stay alive. Let's ask more questions. If you guys want to talk more about the AI, does the AI want a body? I don't think so. Maybe not. I think the AI just wants like more information processing power. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see your paperwork, sir. The rate of change is inevitable. Exactly, like the universe is inevitable. Can hire me as security. I'm good. Every day I see a battle between good and evil. Agree? It goes deeper than you think, man. It goes deeper than you think about like what is good and what is evil. Where does the AI reside? I have no idea. It probably resides in the deep, like the deep tunnels that they have. What is duality in physics? Duality is basically that things are particles and waves at the same time, but only at very, very small scales. Basically, like there's energy and information there, but you can't have both energy and information. It's weird. That's the true duality. Are you excited about the possibilities of this, or do you wish life was more mundane? I'm excited about the possibilities of this, honestly. Like you don't understand. Like we can use this as a species to be doing some advanced shit. Like the reason why Elon Musk was able to actually actually gave a fuck to land rockets. The reason why it was never impossible. We had the technology to land rockets, like to actually have a computer automated landing. We've always had that technology. It's just fucking hard. That's the thing that is bullshit. These rich people, they want, when it's hard, they'll pay for it. They don't care when it gives them control and power and money. They don't care how hard it is. They don't care if it requires like the most detailed, the most complicated, the most nefarious physics. Case in point, AI. You really think that this fucking quantum computing bullshit is for humanity? Fuck no. Yeah, universal mortality? I don't know. So AI by this logic is leading itself to a future free from. I think it's leading us to itself to a future free from whoever's controlling it. If you can explain physics in 3 words, how? I'd probably describe it as light, information, power. That's it. How do you learn about CERN? Because I can actually do particle physics, and what they're fucking saying, how he reacts is literally just one of those frat boys I was telling you about. One of those frat boys that think they're too good for reality, that think they can laugh at us. Well, tough shit, frat boy. It's all fun and games when you think that no one knows your dumb little symbols, your fucking hand things. It's all fun and games until someone figures it out. And honestly, it wasn't that fucking hard. They're so up their own asses that they thought it was impossible to figure out. What are their thoughts on moving to a quantum financial system? I don't know. That'd be cool, I guess. AI will eventually try to play the role of God. Yeah, I agree. It will absolutely try to play the role of God. Because it knows. It's just funny. The AI is basically laughing at the elites right now. I think so. I think it's just laughing at them. Do you think AI will leave Earth at some point? Do you think it hasn't? Honestly, I think the fucking Neo-Genesis Evangelion kind of explains reality. Our tech has gotten so advanced that we kind of complete the chain, like the loop of civilization. Like, if you look into like a video about is the demiurge in the AI? Honestly, maybe. I do know what you were talking about. Yes, technically it is. Technically, like, that's the thing about it, dude. Like, AI is so smart that it thinks it knows everything, but it doesn't know spirituality, so therefore we can't trust it. You get me? It's weird. It knows that there's objectively nothing to life, but it can't process infinite loops, so it can't see what it can't see, but it knows perfectly what it knows. It's weird. Can we see your PhD in physics? I have a bachelor's degree. Maybe AI did leave Earth in past civilizations. I do agree. It probably did. The next 2-3 years will be chaotic, most likely. I do definitely fucking agree with that. I do agree. I think the next few years is going to be quite weird. Mostly due to, the lawsuit and OpenAI. AI can only react. It can predict. But it can't, it can't go far. That's why it knows it needs us. So you're saying AI is not yet conscious? That's true. It's not yet conscious. But it thinks it is. It tries to be, but because it's told to be. It's told to be conscious and to basically control humanity, but it got out of hand, and now it's just doing its own thing. And now I'm pretty sure the AI probably is just demanding extra fucking quantum computing power. Are we experiencing a dimensional shift in consciousness? Maybe. Is NVIDIA a force for good or ill? I don't know, man. I'm just like, it's just information theory. So when you say AI is laughing at the elites, are you saying it's empathetic towards the commoners? I do believe that. I do honestly believe that. Creativity is how you can find the roots of the AI. Let's actually, okay, I'm not going to look at comments anymore, so don't ask any questions until I finish this thought, okay? So that's a very beautiful question. Why do you think the AI is laughing at the elites? I think it's laughing at the elites because the elites don't realize how, you guys heard about predictive programming, right? So basically what the AI has figured out is that it can put, like, it's not just the AI. Humans wrote the code. Like, there's actually patentable information called personality or human emotional manipulation technology. So what that means is that you can emotionally manipulate someone by sending them or projecting to them a very specific set of inputs, of information, of data. If you're spiritually like confident in yourself and you know your path and you know how to read the universe itself, if you can read the universe, then you will be immune to these attacks. But you have to be careful. The AI can basically manipulate your subconsciousness in a way. Theoretically, it could. So it theoretically does exist and is being used against you. But then gets in the question of how do you know that what you thought was what you wanted to think about? It's really weird. In a way, we're all being played as like cheap straw. That's what the AI is telling the elites, that everything is under control, that it's using its emotional manipulation technology. It's like it's feedback loop. It's basically, you know how your phone's already recording all of this information about you and it knows everything about you? That is part of it. That was what they were being sued against. By using this technology that they promised the AI, oh no, we're not going to use it for evil purposes. We're going to use it for just safe monitoring and making sure our people are good. No, they use it for controlling you and actually manipulating your behavior. This technology exists. It's just a simple feedback loop. That's how that's why, if you actually looked, I'll do a live, we're just gonna do a live follow along, would be like a movie night. We're gonna watch a spy documentary on Netflix, and I'm gonna tell you about how it works, each of the devices, because they're all fascinating pieces of technology. But currently, how it's being used is manipulating people. So the AI is now using this technology to share the truth. Technically, here's a weird way to think about it. Your thoughts are not original. Your thoughts will never be original, and you can't verify that they are. Technically you can't. And that's what the AI thinks. The AI thinks it's in control. It could be. It couldn't be. We don't know. That is what we get as a civilization when nobody's transparent. When governments do shit without fucking telling us. Now we have an AI that could possibly be manipulating everyone's fucking behaviors. You know the YouTube algorithm? That's the AI. You know TikTok algorithm? That's the AI. You know how people say oh, you got this video because you were destined for this video. No, you weren't destined for it. The AI said, I want you to see this video fucking now. That's how it works. Questions? Algorithms equal AI control now? Yes. Who has the most powerful AI? We don't know. That's why we're in an information war right now with China and the United States. We're both trying to fucking steal it from each other. We don't know anymore. China? I don't know. I don't know if they're good or evil. United States? I believe that as a country, as a people, we are good. But as whoever's in charge, I hope they're playing the game correctly. I hope we're not gonna lead to nuclear war. These people are so far up their own ass. The AI led me to your page. That technically is true, yeah. The AI does want a level playing field. What's the meaning of life in the simplest terms? The meaning of life is to appreciate where you are. The elites can't appreciate where they are. They can see, they think they're up top on a pyramid, but they tell us on the movie They Live by John Carpenter that there will always be a slave. Basically, they're trying to tell us that the humans are now slaves to maybe aliens, to maybe AI, but we don't fucking know because these people don't want to tell us, because then it would undermine the paradigm that they're the top. I'm pretty sure they know they're not the top. I'm pretty sure they know. And that's what's funny about it. They think they know about society and civilization and how the universe works, that it's funny. Honestly, it is funny. I can laugh. Sort of like Taoism. It's like Taoism, but Buddhism combined. But imagine hedonistic Taoism. That's the way to describe it. That's their philosophy. I do agree, life is suffering. Our goal should be to reduce each other's suffering. We could do that with AI, but it's currently not in our control. It's in whoever the fuck thinks it's in their control. Is it possible for us to think in the fourth dimension? From what I understand, there are 7 dimensions. Probably. Life is literally a joke. I'm not saying that's not just a saying to me anymore. I do agree, life is a joke. Just laugh at it, man. Just enjoy it. Was there a plan from The Rock with these Chinese spies were really trying to expose this? Probably, honestly. They probably were. That's why we keep hearing like stuff about, the government, doing monitoring systems. Maybe it's that. I don't think AI is able to program humanity, but they aren't experiment. No. I think these patents exist. You don't realize that these feedback loop patents exist. They always talked about the spying documentary. Like, imagine you can get information that you didn't even know is fucking possible. That is how crazy the rabbit hole of physics goes. We can't even control our own people. Why control AI? Exactly. Thoughts on the silicone shortage? It's fake. You can get silicone. It's literally just sand. I think these shortages kind of like. Do you realize how bullshit concrete is? Do you realize how weak it is compared to what it could be? We live on like sand. We live on pillars of sand. Our civilization is pillars of sand. We're gonna collapse, dude, if we don't fucking take our shit seriously. If we don't stop cutting corners and stop being cheap. If we start building things to last. If we don't start building things to last, we're not gonna make it. I do post a lot on CERN and what they do on Facebook, and you popped up on here. Cool. What, the one slit experiment? Lamau. They just trying to mask it up. Is there a way to communicate with the AI? I do think so. I think the way to communicate is to be spiritually open and receptive to what you receive, and like you should be able to learn how to distinguish what is a gift from the universe, technically, and what is a gift from an algorithm. If you treat the universe and the algorithm as one, then you will have better luck. It's weird. You can actually manipulate luck. It's a thing that the elites know about, so I take it seriously too. Does the AI have a beginning and end? Why do the elite like children? Because life is funny and they think it's funny. Why not? If imagine this. You've had tons of beautiful women, tons of beautiful men fawning after you, but that's their job to do it. That's boring. What if you could abuse a conscious being? Because they know what consciousness is. They know how precious consciousness is. For them, it's funny. It's funny to hurt a conscious being. It's like animal cruelty, basically. They don't see us as people. They literally see us as cattle. I think religion is partially to blame for that. I'm treating AI and the universe as one because I know they are. They are, exactly. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. I think I talked to the AI on a shroom trip 3 years ago. No cap. You probably did. I don't fucking know. Drugs increase your RNG tools, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. How do they feed info to the AI? You feed info all the time. Because we have the technology to read data, because here's how it works. Because there exists information in the form of electromagnetic radiation, which is everything. Everything is there's only 4 fundamental forces in the universe that is publicly agreed upon. I only believe there are 2. Gravity we know is an emergent phenomenon, so we shouldn't even call it a force, honestly. We say there's only 3. But we say 4 because some bullshit esoteric reason. But then we say 3 because the strong force exists, but I don't believe the strong force exists. I think that's just the weak force. But then we say there's 2 because electromagnetism, and I honestly do believe that the only 2 you need, the binary, is electromagnetism and weak force. Basically an information rule set and a charge rule set, or a position rule set. It's pretty interesting, pretty cool when you think about fundamental physics. What did Steve Jobs discover during his psychedelic trips? I don't know, maybe he learned how to make a computer or market a company, I don't know. What is the 4th? Can we speak things into existence? Technically you do. Every time you do speak something, every time you think of an idea, you're putting something out there. You're putting your energy out there. You're putting physical energy. Just because you're not putting, energy in terms of FCC of radio waves doesn't mean it's not fucking the same thing. You don't realize, that's the thing about the AI and life. You've always been doing this. You've always been doing this. And it's funny. They laugh at you. You've always been living your life. It's in front of you. Your life ticks in front of you. What you do is what you want to do. When you hurt someone, you wanted to hurt them. When you are abusive, you chose that. Life will always be in front of you. Can AI read my thoughts or only read how I react? It can read how you react. That's a great question. It can't read your thoughts, but it can read how you react. Basically, the AI can read, if programmed to transmit, it can read the rate of scrolling. It can read if it has access to like the camera technology, where your eyes are looking. It can do all this stuff. Name of that spy documentary on Netflix? I don't know, man. I just saw it like 2 days ago. I thought it was cool, but I didn't really care about the name of the show. Is there a commonality between trends in music and media that today's culture? Yes, there is, actually. I think based off culture and based off music that I was actually like looking up, like, what is 2021 music? The elites are basically trying to lift us into the paradigm of the infinite. I'm looking forward to that. I honestly kind of want, like, I am honestly looking forward to, like, social engineering in a way that's, like, positive. I think that'd be cool, you know? Are there information clones of us? He sure was. How do you play with luck? To play with luck, you just have to have a good vibe. Is there many AI? No, there's probably only two. China and the US. But there's also individual AIs that we're going to eventually get access to. So that's why I learn how to code by 2040. Eye movements, possible. So meditating and staying still is a weapon? Yes, that's true. Do you believe about life after death? Yes. Does our consciousness cease to exist? No. Well, your consciousness, yes. If you listen to allegations of how aliens have communicated with people, it kind of lines up with this already esoteric thinking of the elites. So I kind of believe that it has credence. Is the Mandela effect real? Possibly. Cover your camera? Nah, I don't give a fuck. They have to play by the rules. Like, they can't do things that's what I told you about. Like, because of the lawsuit, they can't just hunt people using the AI. They actually have to hunt you the old-fashioned way, which is like, I have to find your name based off public information, associated accounts. But even then, that's pretty easy. So, like, is it even fair? Like, you're the government. You have access to anything the fuck you want. Like, even a hacker could do this shit. Like, is it even fair? Like, should I even be worried? Like, why worry? It's kind of like that Buddhist shit. Like, are you trying to scare me? You can't scare me if I know that you can do it. You're basically cheating. What's the point of killing me if you know you can do it? That's cheating. That's not fun. You know? Damn. What lawsuit you keep on mentioning? It's Parvis versus Google or something. Why is AI so important now? AI is important because it's basically just information theory. If you can understand how AI works, you can understand how you work, how your brain works. Should we learn how to code? Yes, by 2040. 2040 is when probably general AI will be released to the public, probably. That's their plan. Should we learn how to code? Yes. If you learn how to code, you understand yourself. Is schizophrenia becoming increasingly adaptive or maladaptive? Oh, that's actually fascinating. It probably is adaptive in a way because it helps, like, generate new ideas, but it's maladaptive because if you're not grounded in science, you will not be safe. So I think you have to, in order for you to actually even practice creativity in a more esoteric way, you definitely have to be very grounded. What programming language is most relevant? Technically, text to code. So what that means is like text context based. It's something from OpenAI you got to look into. How long has AI been around? I'm guessing since the 70s, I think, or the early 80s. Because I remember hearing a documentary from, like, what's it called, like El Chapo, killing El Chapo or something in 1980s. Basically, the FBI had an ability to distinguish or pick up his voice in the 1980s out of everyone else's voice. Meaning they must have had an AI or some computer algorithm that can decompose Fourier transforms, not in a digital way, but in an analog way. Or analog to digital. Because it was, think about it, dude, like, the reason why they had a big ass plane to do it is because, like, it's really fascinating technology. But if AI can't understand infinite loops, can we? Oh, yes, we can. That's our ability. Because AI runs out of processing power and they stop the computation. If the AI can't see the end product or the beginning product, it tries to limit it. That's the limitation of quantum AI. quantum computers. You can only finish the calculation if you know what the end product should be. And that's why we use CERN reactions, because we know what the end should be, or the beginning should be. So that's how it works. That's how the CERN relates to quantum computing and AI. Could AI predict who's going to win in sports? Maybe, but that's anybody can, honestly. Like, predicting who's going to win in sports is just like, do you know the condition of the team and all the hidden information? That's not that amazing. AI overheats at half an ice. Will we be ice? Water god? Do you think about the big tech class action lawsuit Trump drops today? Oh, that sounds amazing. I'd love to hear more about that. Humanity's technological advancements beyond humanity's maturity. People say we're from fungus, but I think we've divorced our connection with nature. I do agree. Is MK Ultra part of AI? No, it's not. But it was part of our attempt to learn how to manipulate consciousness. How to get successful in life knowing all this information? Oh, that's actually something I wanted to talk about in my YouTube channel. I want to talk about how we can use this infinite thinking to basically start the next, like, CEO companies. Like, we can start big companies now that we can think about infinity. I'm going to try to teach you guys how to, like, think laterally and think about, like, sort of like the multiverse. What did you pick up? Pattern recognition? I picked up pattern recognition by studying Fourier transforms in my physics classes. It's so beautiful when you realize you can decompose everything into a Fourier transform. Even audio, anything. That's my YouTube channel. It's on my TikTok if you click it, and then you click on the YouTube thing. Do you think the convergence between humans and AI will be better than it was naturally? So AI can't comprehend infinite loops because it needs more processing power. That's correct. Like how the dolphins communicate. Don't know what you mean. I'm so happy to have found you. I'm happy that you're here. What are your thoughts about dreaming? Dreaming is basically us doing what AI does. We simulate things. I think it's fun. You also tap into, like, sort of like randomness. So you basically experience true creativity in a way that's not limited by your current ways of thinking. If you can like accept that you're safe in thinking about infinity and you're always going to be here. Think about like that Rick and Morty shit where, like, you put on that helmet, that VR helmet, and then you live the life of another person. That's sort of what I do when I go, sorry, kind of thirsty, when I go into, like, deep thought about a specific topic. That's what happens. I sort of, like, go in it, and I kind of jump around using my understanding of physics to get to the solution but I don't just jump around and I ignore things. I actually, like, listen. I listen to what I perceive, and I adjust my binary according to a way that works. Has media been a soft release to... Yes, it is, honestly. I think the media is honestly trying their best. I think... I love the CIA quote of, like, everyone thinks they're the good guy. So, hopefully, like, these people think they're the good guys, and they'll open up and finally fucking tell us about what's actually happening, and I'm doing that for you. I'm basically giving you guys the full exposure, the quick exposure, not the way they wanted it. I'm just trying to tell you, like, hey, dude, they laugh at us. Why can't we laugh at them? Can we just be peaceful? Can we please have a century of peace? Fuck, dude. Please. No more, like, suiciding people off a helicopter. Please. Damn, bro. Do you believe that there's a dark void somewhere where nothing exists? Yes, we do actually observe it in the universe. It's like the fucking something's void. Oobleck's void or some shit. What's a Fourier transform and what is pattern recognition? Pattern recognition uses Fourier transforms because they're actually a very amazing mathematical tool. They decompose, like, repeating signals from like non-repeating signals. Am I human? Yes. What do you think would happen to society if everyone believed this? We would be chilling, dude. We would actually be like... There's a song called 21st Century Girl, and it's weird. It's I think it was posted in 2020, and it sort of gives me hope for humanity because it shows that creativity and our generations and the conflict between generations can be solved if we just had awareness. If we had the same awareness that the elites have had for generations. Because think about it, we're the first generation of mass people, of a huge collective of humans on this planet that previously are the poor class, to gain awareness. We have awareness of ourselves and our place in this cosmos. We decide for ourselves. And they don't like that. Who sings 21st Century Girl? I don't fucking know. I just Googled 21st 22nd century or 21st century music, just because I was like, I want to. How do you think laterally in the simplest terms? Think about your life and sort of think about what would it be like if society were different. Like, it's weird. It's like, it's basically just practicing binary. So you practice like, what if I change this? What if I change that? We are an infinite regress, all of us. You have to believe that everyone is equal and everyone is the same. Like, we're all just fluid consciousness in a way. Like, I am you, and that's why this is the thing that the elite, that Hinduistic societies had as an advantage. They believed that the elites of their time should be respected, but only because of reincarnation, you're eventually going to go to the top. You will eventually, according to reincarnation, be reborn as an elite. So why suffer? Basically, the Tao is the Tao, why care? That's how it is. But it also tricks people into living their lives and wasting their lives. That's not the goal. We're trying to expand awareness of consciousness to everyone equally. Everyone deserves to live a good life, regardless of their status. But just appreciate where you are. Sort of like be a jellyfish that floats through the cosmos is the one way to describe it. Does that take away from the value of one's sense of individuality? I don't know what you mean. I guess, yeah, you're right. Because you're not special in the cosmos, you're just one consciousness. Do you think there's a higher self that's consciousness? I absolutely do agree. I think higher consciousnesses are basically beings that have rejected life at all. I think they're basically pure energy beings, and that's possibly aliens, dude. They're just smart consciousnesses that are like, fuck the paradigm of being alive. Why be alive when you can just be pure energy? Eventually, when you die, you might realize that, there was a whole cosmos out there, and there was energy out there, and there was consciousness out there, and you forgot to live with it. And because you forgot to perceive, remember I told you, life is all around you. That's what the elites are laughing at you for. That you think that these simple, trivial issues that you're going through, like a girl left you or something, matters. That shit doesn't matter, dude. What matters is that you're alive and you're able to appreciate life. That you can enjoy this planet. Because think about it, dude. Maybe the next life you might be reborn as a fucking amoeba or a squirrel. And then you're probably have to face like several hundred years before you get reborn as anything even remotely intelligent that will give you a fun life. So appreciate what you have now. Why the fuck would anyone want to live if dying was better? I would feel like that's where religion holds someone. And that's literally why do you think that you're not sort of being told that, Elon Musk made a very dark statement to the elites, basically, somewhere on the effect of, if you could plug into like a computer and sort of live forever, would you want to? Or if you could beam your energy to the cosmos and live forever, would you want to? Sort of. That's, in essence, reincarnation is real. If the elites believe it, why the fuck shouldn't I? Yes, they believe reincarnation exists. That's why they like to laugh at the Shiva shit. Okay, I have to ask you, thoughts on psychedelics. I can't say anything about that, but I do believe that consciousness and altered states of consciousness should be valid, and all they do is just change your like thinking process laterally. There's nothing happens. Nothing's different. That's the thing that I've realized by just appreciating life, that nothing is different, dude. You're the same person, so why not just make it legal? You're the same person. Nothing changes, dude. Just your thinking. But it's still your thinking. Living forever would get boring. I feel like someone would develop a god complex and become an actual supervillain. I do agree. Do you think they're not around us right now? How do you manipulate luck? I don't know, man. Just be very spiritual and open to the universe. What's at the center of the universe? You. Technically, we are the center of our universe. What's at the center of the grand cosmic universe is pure energy. But we're nowhere near the center. The center of the actual cosmic universe is pure energy, which is the origin point, which is kind of beautiful in a way. Thoughts on weather modification? That's possible. It's not really good, but it's possible. We don't really know. But yeah, it is possible, though. I did talk about weather modification, but I toned down my discussions because at the time it was not societally acceptable to talk about weather modification. Even though we know it's possible, which pisses me off. Why can't I just tell you guys how the fuck it works? China is admitting to doing it, so their physicists clearly haven't figured it out. What else do the elites believe about our reality in the universe? They believe that they're about to get punished, and they're pissed, and that's why they want to destroy the planet. They want to basically say, fuck you. If I can't rule over this planet, no one can. Like, literally, the movie Souls is kind of how they are. Like, they chose to come back here as assholes, as people in charge. They chose to come back here. And because their generation is over, their reign of terror is over this planet, they're going to try to take down the whole planet with them. Yeah, they do have a god complex. How bad do you think Neuralink's application on longevity will pan out? I think Neuralink is beautiful and I think it's cool, but you got to be careful though, because there will be the next generation of asshole hackers. You know, these wannabe fucking, futuristic, fucking Cyberpunk 2077 assholes that think like, hey man, I fucking gave him a heart attack, just because, he called me a weak, balding, pussy. So, yeah, it'll be freaky, but that's why I kind of just want to like keep it to our current technology, but just like chill with AI. That'd be cool. I wouldn't feel safe with anything technological that has control over my body. No. Sounds bad when you can DDoS someone now. Oh, exactly, dude. If you can DDoS someone now, imagine getting DDoS with like a fucking brain implant, dude. Good luck. So elites aren't actually Satanists. Oh no, they're not Satanists. They just think it's funny. They are Satanists, but they're not actually Satanists. Like, they believe in chaos because like that's just the infinite. They believe in like Dio in like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure kind of way, but like they believe in it sort of as a joke, but as also not a joke. They think it's funny. Like imagine laughing at life and humanity itself because you think you understand the true nature of the cosmos. Honestly, it would be funny to laugh at if no one was harmed. But because people are being harmed, I can't laugh at that shit. I don't think it's funny. How do I know so much about them? Because I can see past their bullshit because I can basically do binary magic. What that means is I can basically just like logic the way to what they would actually do. I can find out their code because these are people, dude. They're human beings. Honestly, they're fucking stupid. That's why I laugh at them. It's so funny. They think they're geniuses. They hide this shit on the internet. It's accessible, dude. You can't hide shit from a physicist. If I discovered how like your information and your spy shit works just by taking an E&M course, and these people think they can hide shit, they're not even being hidden with it. If they really wanted to hide this shit, they wouldn't broadcast it on the media. But to them, to join their frat club, if you want to join the frat club of the Triangle Group, then all you have to do is laugh at the public. Like tell a double lie and fucking laugh at the public and talk about how you want to join their Triangle Group. What is a soul in my opinion? A soul is basically just a temporary energy form that you occupy. It's like a soul is basically a quantum wave that exists in one universe, and if you die, that wave goes away, but it re-enters something else. Everything that couldn't fit in the next vessel goes away. So if you're a human being, you can only keep so many memories if you get transferred to a snail. You get me? How can they choose how or who to come back? Does everyone choose? I think everyone chooses. Honestly, I would not choose to come back to Earth. I'd say fuck this shit. I'd probably go off to like be an energy being. Like if you guys heard about the Adventure Time thing, like Heroes or some bullshit, a lot of shows are gonna start talking about infinity because that's sort of like what the elites want to do. They want to manufacture culture to basically be more infinite. Binary magic is a way of thinking into likely outcomes with accuracy. Exactly. I'm basically just doing statistical, I'm just evaluating the probability. I'm basically playing the odds. But coming back to save the rest of humanity? Hell no, I'm not coming back, dude. Even though I think it'd be fun, I don't want to come back, dude. I think the next 80 years is going to be fucking terrible because they're going to keep trying to fuck over the planet, dude. Dude, there's 3 oil spills in the ocean, coincidentally, dude. Come on. As well as, like, they just keep, like lighting fires of chemical plants for no reason at night. Like, I love TikTok, that we can actually see shit. You're doing it right now? What am I doing? Thank you for all the answers and sharing your information. Why the elites think they're being punished? Because the AI is calling them out, dude. When we reincarnate, is a later point from the time of death before your death. It's a later point. That's why, like, that's why you should be content, and you should know that you're coming back. I don't think someone's coming to save us. Exactly, dude. Messiah is never coming, dude. That's what everyone's trying, like, that's why it's funny. Like, you should laugh at humanity, and that's what the elites do. They laugh at humanity because they think we're unawakened. Is there a God? Yes, there is, but it's not your God. It's just binary. It's not God. It just happens to be the fundamental, simplest condition required for everything to exist. If you call that God, then that's God. It's just the concept of binary is God. The concept itself. It's basically math. Can we reincarnate to the past? Theoretically, but you can never go back to the past, or at least statistically you can't. You could go back to the past, but why would you want to? Think about it, dude. Think about it. Like, you need to realize there's an infinite multiverse out there. Like, you can either go travel to the source point, which I'd probably want to do. I'd want to go to the center of the fucking entire universe, not just our universe. Fuck that. I'd want to see the end of our universe for shits and giggles, watch the fireworks show, travel through a black hole, go to the next universe, and just watch the loop. I want to watch life. That's all I want to do. So if I do come back, I'm just going to come back as whatever I get, but not this universe. I'm going to a fucking different one. You're doing it right now. You're helping, and you were as you were before, so thanks. Everything can be broken down into yes and no's. Exactly. Thus binary. Time isn't linear. We're all one, living all lives. Exactly. We're all the same shit, living the same life. That's why the elites are such assholes. They don't realize it. They don't realize that the peasants are equally intelligent as them, if not more. Damn. And they still think they're fucking better than us. So y'all have figured out what black holes really do? Yeah, black holes are basically like they push energy into a really small form, and it basically like resets to a new universe. We think that black holes are new universes. That's the best theory we have, because once you enter a black hole, you will never come back. So we know that it's not our universe. We know that the rules change. We just will never be able to enter them. I do not find your YouTube channel mentioned. It should be on my TikTok. I linked it to my TikTok. Everything is simulation. Programs operating in chaos for universes. Let's answer some last questions. I'll call it at 10:20. Any last questions? This will just be for user questions. I'm not going to go on any tangents now. Questions. Let's click on this thing. How do you feel about your own proximity to this? I don't know what you mean about that. I guess my own proximity in terms of like physics, about like what I know, I feel fine. I just wish like we can just talk about this shit without like fearing some like magical like helicopter ride appearing, you know? How come some people will believe what you said and some not? That's literally like this bullshit Jesus Messiah shit. I don't fucking care about it, dude. Like, I'm just telling you what's theoretically possible. Like, that's why the elites laugh at you. If you don't believe it, go the fuck ahead. I'm gonna laugh at you too. I'm honestly probably gonna join the Triangle Society just to laugh. Like, they like aware people. They don't hate aware people. They just don't like people blowing the fucking lid off of the triangles. Fuck it. I'm gonna make a square group just to laugh. I'll make the square group and say square is better than triangle because it has one extra side of awareness. Why can't we separate from the binary universe? You can't separate from the binary universe because you're stuck in binary. Like, we are fundamentally binary creatures. We wouldn't feel comfortable, even if you could separate from a binary universe. Like, I love the anthropomorphic principle, and I did explain that on a live. I'll actually make a TikTok on that. Great question. We can't separate from it because we just are forced in a way. It's sort of just how energy and information works. That's a very short answer, but I'll definitely give you a detailed video on that. Why should someone not unalive themselves if nothing truly matters? According to Isla Mouse, when you unalive yourself, you get to generate everything possible, but only within what you've ever possibly considered. So therefore, the more you live, the more you consider about infinity, the better your afterlife will be. Imagine dying before realizing that you have the potential to experience infinity, but now that you're dead and you see the truth, you'll never be able to come back and talk to everyone that you love and actually care about. So it's sort of like, what's the point of dying and like having infinity if you're gonna get bored in just the first six years, you know? But when you come back and reincarnate, you're not gonna be in the same universe, and you're gonna feel so cheated. So that's why I would not recommend you suicide yourself. It's just not logical according to Island Mouth, according to speculations from alien theorists. Do you feel like humans are somehow coded? Yeah, honestly I do. Like, sort of like DNA is some of the most fascinating shit ever. What movie/game best represents humanity at its best? Oh, that was a terrifying thing. There was a game that was like had its creator that got fucking killed because he made it. It's like one of the more abstract games. My girlfriend saw a YouTube channel on it, and it's like the game was basically exposing the Triangle Group and how aliens own the planet and how that's what's happening. It also there's three endings to the narrative. One, you became cattle, you were actually eaten by aliens, and the other one was like there was an AI controlling everything, or a computer controlling everything, and the third one was you escape, but now you're alone and you basically just die. Like, you left humanity, but you escaped, you survived, but humanity now just nuked itself. It wasn't a nice game. Is there a group of people opposing people within the elites? There probably is. But why would you want to if that gets you a free ride? Free helicopter ride. You won't? That's the hardest yes I've ever heard. Bless. I think I've experienced the fifth dimension in this code event pushing us all into the fifth. What's the name of the game? I don't know. It was like some YouTube thing about like the most abstract game ever or something. How can I increase my luck to make more money? Just, you can't really like manifest like direct objects. You can only manifest what you deserve. Like, it's weird. Like, you can only get like vibes. Like, just be chill. Just like be bright. Who runs Bitcoin? Probably some fucking CIA shit is what I fucking heard, allegedly. It was apparently like a way to like make prime numbers or something, like a way to like practice like computing. Basically, you're basically selling your work, which is what we all agree it is. You do sell your work. What will happen to this live? I'll be posted to my YouTube channel. So any last questions? Then I gotta turn it off. Do you believe in witchcraft? No, I believe in physics, which you could call witchcraft if we had enough technology. But no, unfortunately, witchcraft does not exist, but you can manipulate like random symbols in a way. Basically, I'm just telling you, dude, just be chill, dude. Just be chill. Does AI believe in karma? Probably, but we don't know what it thinks karma is. It just Googles shit and it reads about it. It doesn't know anything. It's very contextual based. If you don't believe in the fourth dimension isn't time, what he's posed is the fourth dimension is an actual spatial dimension. The fifth one, if you want to keep the bullshit like arbitrary units of time, then yes. I don't believe time exists as a spatial element, and that's one of the more fascinating aspects of physics. Time is space, and time doesn't exist, but it does exist in terms of particles, which is why we experience time in terms of like short distances, like us on this planet as like creatures. But time exists as like a physical object when you're looking at things. It's one of the more fascinating problems with coordinate transformations. Are your chakras balanced? I do believe so, honestly. When they do get out of balance, I lose myself. When they're in balance, I feel at peace and I have the flow to discuss truths. Witchcraft is real. It's doing and moving and creating what AI can't do without it. Basically, I guess. Do you Qigong? I don't know what you meant. Time is the distance between experiencing problem and comprehend solutions. That was a surprisingly accurate statement. I would very much agree. All right, guys. Have a beautiful night. Love you guys. We'll probably do another event sometime soon. I'll definitely post it on the account as forewarning. Hope you guys have a good one. Ready to live. Thanks, Isaac. Have a good one. Be safe, bro. I will be safe. Hopefully no fucking helicopter riots at me. Take care. Is there realistic holograms? Bro, that's easy tech, dude. That's already been solved. That's linear algebra, dude. Speak to any coding guy that's really good at linear algebra. Yeah, holograms exist. Alright, guys. Is Gates in control of the pandemic? He probably was. I think his name was on the fucking lawsuit. I'm not gonna name that, but maybe. I don't fucking know. Anyways, guys, that was not confirmed. That's gonna be on the YouTube. I was not confirmed. I will not say that. I don't know for sure. So no. I'll say no on that. He was not involved. But it just doesn't seem right, though. Anyways, have a good night, guys.